Children, today we are going to start off. All right, good morning, Anish. Good morning, everyone. Today we are going to start off with a very interesting story, Ishwaran the Storyteller, in which the main character, the protagonist Ishwaran, has this habit of oration. He is a very good storyteller, so he always tells stories with lots of effects, lot of details into the story. And he has a boss called Mahindran, who actually believes everything that Ishwaran says, and how it leads to a funny incident in his life. Now, before I start that, I have posted. Okay, Anish, we before vacation we have done the third chapter in Beehive, Little Girl, which was not completed, only half done. All right, Anish. Then what I can do is that today let me have a word with James, ma'am, and maybe after Ishwaran you can remind me, and I'll finish off with the Little Girl. As it is, if I'm not wrong, the Little Girl is in the different book, right? It's. Not in Beehive. It's in Beehive, right? And we are doing moments today. So as soon as I finish Ishwaran, please remind me. I'll start off with the little girl. Thank you for reminding me. And here I have a video, so we all can see it. Just a second. I think I need to change the settings of my.
Book Moments, Class 9. I know you're all set to go. So let's get started. The person that you see on.
Okay, just a second, students. I am going to the meet. Just type and tell me in the chat box whatever I am presenting. Is it clear to you? Is it clear to you? Okay, very nice. So then I'll go to it.
On the screen is R.K. Laxman, the author of the chapter. He was a very famous cartoonist and a storyteller. He belonged to Karnataka. You must have seen his skills in many leading newspapers as cartoonist. He has contributed in one of the famous Indian serials, Malgudi Days. Now, let's start with a summary of the chapter. There are two lead characters in the chapter, Mahendra and Iswaran. Mahendra was a young, simple, and unmarried man who could adjust in any kind of odd situations and conditions. Iswaran was his cook, who was attached to him and followed him everywhere he went for his job. He called him an asset. He was very good at telling stories and anecdotes. This entire story was narrated to Ganesh by Mahendra. We can assume Ganesh as Mahendra's colleague or a friend. Mahendra had to keep moving from one place to another in order to perform his duties. This time, he had been shifted to a chemical plant. His job was to keep an eye on the activities at the work site. Mahendra would be up early in the morning and leave for work after breakfast. Meanwhile, Ishwaran would complete all his household chores. He would have his lunch and read a Tamil storybook before dozing off. He had improved his narrative skills by reading up to that extent that he could bring the listener on toes and would leave him in suspense. He had mastered the art of telling the stories by giving imaginative descriptions. For example, instead of saying he had come across an uprooted tree on the highway, he would say he had seen such an enormous bushy beast lying across the road. As he grew nearer, he noticed it was a fallen tree with its branches wide open. Mahendra would stretch himself back in his canvas chair and listen to Iswaran's stories unquestionably. He further told another story of an elephant. The elephant entered the border of the town right away from the jungle, smashing all the stalls selling fruits, mud pots, and clothes. People started rushing here and there in panic. After some time, the elephant entered the school in which Iswaran was studying. He was in junior class that time. The elephant had ruined many things in the school. All the boys ran into the classrooms and shut the doors tightly. Meanwhile, all the teachers had climbed up the terrace of the school building. After witnessing all this, Iswaran took the lead to deal with the giant elephant and grabbed a cane from one of the teachers and came down to face it. He quickly hit its third toenail and the elephant collapsed in few seconds. At such points, Iswaran would always leave the story unfinished to warm the meal for Mahendra, and he would only finish the incomplete story when he is reminded of. When Mahendra asked Iswaran of managing the giant elephant at a small age, he would proudly say it was a Japanese art to paralyze the nervous system of an animal for quite some time. And then a Mahout was called out who took the elephant back. When Mahendra was having his breakfast, Iswaran asked him if he could make something special as it was an auspicious day on which they feed the spirits of their ancestors. That day, Mahendra enjoyed the most delicious dinner and complimented Iswaran on his culinary skills. Iswaran then further told Mahendra another story of a female ghost that appeared on and off at midnight during the full moon, and she carried a fetus in its arms. Mahendra asked him to see a doctor, as according to him, Iswaran was not talking sense and left from there to sleep. He thought that Iswaran now would be a little cautious with his unbelievable stories, but the next morning he was surprised to see Iswaran as cheerful as always. Though Mahendra had scolded Iswaran for telling unbelievable stories, but he was scared deep inside and would look outside of the window of his room and make sure things were right. One following night, Mahendra was woken up from his sleep by some moaning and unavoidable sound. First, he resisted to peep outside but got very scared the moment he saw the same female ghost Iswaran had mentioned in his story. Next morning, the horror of the previous night had vanished from Mahendra's memory, but Iswaran mentioned that he had seen him scared of the same female ghost while giving him his office stuff. A chill went down Mahendra's spine, which means he felt very nervous and frightened. He did not wait for Iswaran to complete his sentence. He quickly went to his office, handed in all the papers, and left the haunted place very next day. The chapter ends here. I hope, learners, this was fruitful for you.
All right, children. So, as we see, children, the main thing that you have to understand in Ishwaran the storyteller are, number one, the three main stories that Ishwaran tells. During the course of the chapter, he tells three stories. One is about the tree trunk that was fallen, the other one was about the elephant, and the third one was about the female ghost. Please write in the chat box, did you all get an idea about these three stories? Come on, children, I'm waiting. Write in the chat box. Did you get an idea? Ninth A, such an unresponsive class. I'm still waiting. How long does it? Okay, Manin, Anish, Rudrakshi. All right. Children, hurry up so that I can start the chapter. I get only 3 responses. 4, Saloni. Bas, that's it. Divya, Shwetlina, 6, 7. That's it. Half the class is not responding. Ninth A, when the school reopens, you people are going to have a tough time with me if you remain such unresponsive children. Come on, where are the others? Neha, Shambhavi, I'm waiting for you people. Anyway, so I take it that you have understood. Now, with this, I start off with the chapter. Now, what I have done, students, here is I have tried to give you a comprehensive reading material for Ishwaran the storyteller. In this, apart from the text, we also have got word meanings and explanation also, in case you get stuck up in between. Okay. Now, the title of this chapter tells us that the story is about Ishwaran. That's quite clear. He is called the storyteller because as storytelling is an art, he is good at it. So he is very good at storyteller. telling. Ishwaran uses special effects, does voice modulation, uses his body language to make the story realistic so that the listener, that is Mahendra, gets attracted and captivated in his story. Children, kindly remember this line, it will be very good in your answers. So, what does he do? Uses special effects, voice modulation, body language, his stories are realistic. The writer wants to highlight this quality of Ishwaran, that he was so good at telling stories that they appeared to be real. His stories were a source of entertainment for Mahindra, but in the end, we know that ultimately Mahindra had to resign his job because he believed in Ishwaran's storytelling. Now, you have to understand, you by this time you all know who is Mahindra and who is Ishwaran, but you have to understand who is Ganesh. Ganesh को हम महेंद्र का फ्रेंड मान सकते हैं, जिसको महेंद्र ये स्टोरी नरेट कर रहा है. So actually the narrator of the story is Mahendra. Now Mahendra, we get a little bit of his introduction, that he was a junior supervisor in a firm, and it was a construction firm which used to construct factories, bridges, dams, and Mahindra was a supervisor, and he had to keep on moving from one place to another as was ordered by his head office. So some examples are a coal mining area to a railway bridge construction site to a chemical plant, etc., etc. Right? So right now, Mahendra was a bachelor. You all know who's a bachelor, and hence his needs were very simple. And he was able to adjust himself in odd conditions, whether it was an ill-equipped circuit house. Ill-equipped means where there are not many facilities. Circuit house is, another name for a government rest house or even a tent. Even in a canvas tent, he was able to live. But he had one asset. Asset is something that is useful to us, important to us, which was his cook Ishwaran. He was quite attached to Mahindra and followed him uncomplainingly wherever he was posted. He cooked for Mahindra, washed his clothes, and chatted away with his master at night. He could weave out endless stories and anecdotes on various subjects. So, this is clear. Anecdote is a short, amusing, or interesting story. Right? Ishwaran also had an amazing capacity to produce vegetables and cooking ingredients seemingly out of nowhere. Now, children, another thing that you have to understand is that the chapter in its totality has got a humorous vein in it. बार बार हमें chapter में चीजों को पढ़कर हंसी आती है. So the story becomes all the more interesting. Now, it is written that he had a capacity to produce vegetables and cooking ingredients out of nowhere in the middle of a desolate landscape with no shops visible for miles around. So, this is another one of the qualities of Ishwaran, because a question might come that was Ishwaran only a storyteller or did he have any other qualities also? So, the first quality was that he was a good cook, he was very attached to his master Mahindra. Here we come to see that he could, produce vegetables from anywhere. He would miraculously conjure up the most delicious dishes made with fresh vegetables within an hour of arriving at the zinc sheet shelter at the new workplace. So, here a hypothetical situation is explained to us that, suppose they have arrived at a zinc sheet shelter. तो उनका जो घर है, it is nothing more than a zinc sheet, and it has been only an hour since they have arrived, but still Ishwaran has miraculously, he has made the most delicious food with fresh vegetables. So he was that resourceful, right? Mahendra would be up early in the morning and leave for work after breakfast, carrying some prepared food with him. Meanwhile, Ishwaran would tidy up the shed, wash the clothes, have a leisurely bath, pouring several buckets of water over his head, muttering a prayer all the while. It would be lunchtime by then. After eating, he would read for a while before dozing off. The book was usually some popular Tamil thriller running to hundreds of pages. Its imaginative descriptions and narrative flourishes would hold Ishwaran in thrall. Now, this paragraph, children, it tells us about Ishwaran's and Mahindra's daily activities, their daily routine. Now, Mahindra he would get up early in the morning, and after having his breakfast he would go to work, and Ishwaran meanwhile would prepare some food also for him, and he would carry it as a sort of a tiffin. Now after Mahindra has gone, what would Ishwaran do? First he used to tidy up the shed, then he used to wash the clothes. After that he himself used to have a very leisurely bath. Leisurely is something that is done in leisure, आराम से जो चीज की जाती है. And he would pour several buckets of water over his head, and he would also be muttering a prayer. वो कोई prayer भी धीरे धीरे बोल रहा होता था जब वो पानी अपने सर पे डाल रहा होता था. Now by that time it would be lunchtime, so then he would have his food and then he would read for a while before dozing off. So in the afternoon Ishwaran used to sleep. Now which books did he used to read? He used to read Tamil thriller books, and they were big thick books, hundreds of pages thick. Now these Tamil thrillers, there they had imaginative descriptions and very flourishing narratives. That means detailed description there used to be there of the incidents, and Ishwaran used to be in thrall. That means he used to be in the spell of those books. उसको वो books बहुत अच्छी लगती थी. As if he is captivated by those books, as if he's been hypnotized by those books. And here a question may come that where did Ishwaran, see, he was only a cook. In all probability, he was not even educated. Where did he learn to weave such good stories? And the answer we get is these Tamil thrillers. So he used to, even though he was less educated, but he could read in Tamil, and the thriller books that he read, it gave his imagination a different kind of a dimension, and he was able to weave very intricate and detailed stories. His own descriptions were greatly influenced by the Tamil authors that he read. When he was narrating even the smallest of incidents, he would try to work in suspense and a surprise ending into the account. Now, here is what I was trying to explain, that whenever Ishwaran used to become the storyteller, he was influenced by these Tamil authors. And even in the smallest of incidents, he would try to put in an element of suspense and surprise by the end of the story. So, not only a simple story, and this, an example is given to us. By an example, you'll understand it better. Uh, Even if he has to say something very simple, he will try and fill it up with lot of suspense and surprise. And we get an example. For example, instead of saying that he had come across an uprooted tree on the highway. Now, what is the incident? That he has just seen an uprooted tree on the highway. वो रोड पर जा रहा था, हाईवे पे जा रहा था, और उसने एक टूटा हुआ, uprooted, उखड़ा हुआ ट्री देख लिया. तो ये बोलने की बजाय that I was going on the highway and I saw an uprooted tree, what would he say? Now look at his body language. With eyebrows suitably arched and hands held out in a dramatic gesture. So his eyebrows are arched. उसकी eyebrows सीधी नहीं है, उनमें आर्च V shape बनी हुई है, या वो थोड़ी सी round हुई हुई है, and his hands are out making all sorts of gestures. And then what would he say? The road was deserted and I was all alone. Suddenly, I spotted something that looked like an enormous bushy beast lying sprawled across the road. I was half inclined to turn and go back, but as I came closer, I saw that it was a fallen tree with its dry branches spread out. Or dekho, simply, instead of saying that it was a tree that was on the highway, that was uprooted on the highway, how he would start? First, his body language would be very suspicious and very very articulate. Secondly, he would say road was deserted, I was all alone, and suddenly I saw that there was a bushy beast. So the fallen tree becomes a bushy beast now, and it was lying sprawled across the road. Sprawled is when you spread all your limbs, your hands and legs are spread. So he was saying, मुझे ऐसा लगा जैसे कोई beast अपने हाथ और पैर फैला कर रोड पे लेटा हुआ. And then he says, I thought that I should turn and go back, but when I came closer, I saw that it was a fallen tree with its dry branches spread out. Mahendra would stretch himself back in his canvas chair and listen to Ishwaran's tales uncritically. Now, here, children, we come to another aspect of Mahendra's character, that he was an educated person, he was a salaried person, he was a supervisor. Had he wanted, he would have always given Ishwaran a shut up call. He would have told Ishwaran that you are lying, or you're sort of exaggerating everything, you're wasting my time. But Mahindra here was very, very nice to Ishwaran, and uncritically, without being critical, koi burai nikale bina, he would simply sit and listen to Ishwaran. And why would Mahindra do that? Because Ishwaran was a sort of an entertainer for him. सो जस्ट इमेजिन, अगर आप बहुत अकेली किसी डेसोलेट प्लेस पर हैं, यू डोंट हैव अ टीवी, यू डोंट हैव अ रेडियो. इन ऑल प्रोबेबिलिटी व्हेन दिस story was written, there was no mobile phone also. So he was Mahendra used to take Ishwaran as a sort of a entertainer for him, and he would go forward with whatever Ishwaran was saying. He would listen to it uncritically. Children, I would just like to all of you to type in the chat box. Did you understand till here? Have you understood everything till here? Are there any doubts? Okay. Right. So then I'll continue a little bit. Now, again, this story that we are going to narrate now is about about the elephant, right? So he says, the place I come from is famous for timber. Timber, you all know, wood, a type of wood. Ishwaran would begin. There is a richly wooded forest all around. The logs are hauled onto lorries by elephants. They are huge, well fed beasts. When they turn wild, even the most experienced Mahout is not able to control them. Now, Mahout is like a rider of the elephant, like you have jockeys for the horses, similarly you've got mahouts for the elephants. तो अब ईश्वरन अपनी जगह की एक बात बता रहा है, that where I come from, no, there are lot of wooded forest. जहाँ हम रहते हैं उसके आसपास बहुत घने घने पेड़ हैं, and there the logs, the wood, the trees are cut into logs and they are hauled onto the lorries. Hauled means उसको रख देना या चढ़ा देना lorries के ऊपर. Lorries is another name for trucks. And he says, since the logs are so heavy, elephants do that. And they say those elephants also, they are very huge because they are fed very well by their mahouts. But when the elephants turn wild, even the mahouts are not able to control them. After this prologue, now prologue is a sort of an introduction to something. So these two words, children, you need to know, prologue and epilogue. So prologue is an introduction to something, epilogue is a sort of a conclusion to something that comes after the story or after the chapter, or after the speech, like that. So he would launch into an elaborate anecdote involving an elephant. और फिर वो क्या करता था, कोई कहावत सुनाने लग जाता था एलिफेंट के बारे में, कोई मुहावरा सुनाने लग जाता था, या कोई छोट शॉर्ट स्टोरी सुनाने लग जाता था एलिफेंट के बारे में. One day, a tusker escaped from the timber yard and began to roam about, stamping on bushes, tearing up wild creepers, and breaking branches at will. And now he narrates a story and he says कि एक दिन क्या हुआ, एक एलिफेंट एस्केप कर गया, वो इधर उधर घूमने लग गया. वो क्या कर रहा था, बुशेस के ऊपर स्टैम्प कर रहा था. बुशेस के ऊपर you all know what is stamping, no? When we stamp with our feet. एंड क्रीपर्स को टीयर अप कर रहा था, ब्रांचेस को तोड़ रहा था. Sir, how an elephant behaves when it goes mad. And Ishwaran tells Mahindra, you must be knowing how an elephant behaves when it goes mad. Ishwaran would get so caught up in the excitement of his own story that he would get up from the floor and jump about, stamping his feet in emulation of the mad elephant. Now, again, here is an example of Ishwaran's body language. He would be so excited that he would simply get up from he himself would get up from the floor, start stamping his feet, and emulate means copy. So he will start copying the mad elephant. तो वो story सिर्फ सुना नहीं रहा है, वो story को acting करके बता रहा है. Right, children? Now only 3 minutes are left, and before I end the chapter, I would just like to ask you a few questions. Children, what all qualities, or maybe what questions should I ask? Okay, what all qualities of Ishwaran and Mahendra did you learn today? Come on, write down. What qualities of Ishwaran and Mahendra did you learn today? Now I have 17 people in the class. Or maybe I can take the attendance again because that time very less people had joined. Come on, you people, start typing. What qualities of Mahendra and Ishwaran did you learn today? Okay, Ishwaran was a good storyteller. What else, Shwetlina? Body language. They both were. No, Rudrakshi, not both. He was also good cook, very good. Shambhavi, he was a good entertainer. Yes, what else? What else? Did I use the word resourceful? He used to collect fruits and buy fruits and vegetables out of nowhere and cook for Ishwaran. Cook for Mahendra. Did I use the word resourceful? Yeah, Manan, he used to act the stories. He was a good cook. Yes. Children, इसके साथ साथ resourceful भी याद रखिए. Resourceful means somebody who is very good at procuring things. जिसको Anish, he was a bachelor. Both of them were bachelors, beta. Ishwaran and Mahendra, both of them were bachelors. Okay. और क्या quality पता चली आपको? Resourceful, good, Rudrakshi, at least you have written. What else? Tamil thrillers का कोई point पता चला हमें? Yes, Manan, he used to read books. Tamil thrillers का कोई point पता चला आज हमें? Yes, Happy, you are right. Ishwaran could make us simply. Okay, Happy, so you're in my class. Very good. So, yes, Ishwaran could make a simple story into a thriller. That's correct. That's correct. Very nice. All right, children. Anish, very good. He was imaginative. Yes. Okay, I get only 4 or 5. Not every Ishwaran could completely enter in the character about whom he was telling. He had a vast knowledge. Very good, Happy. Maybe you could say that he had a good vocabulary or he was very good with his words, such kind of things. All right, children. So I take it that you have understood today's chapter. Is that so? And tomorrow I'll try to finish off. No, tomorrow not. Maybe we'll need one more class. All right, children, that was all for today. You can start exiting the class. Thank you so much.